This is our vocabulary story for Unit 1, Week 4. We're going to be reading this story together. Make sure you follow along as I read it to you. This is on page 80 in your hard books. I'll give you 5 seconds to find it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, if you didn't find it, too bad. Here we go. This is called a special camp, and we have our vocab words. We have cultures, deaf, signing, not singing, relatives, and celebrate. Okay? We're also going to be talking a little bit about some dictionary stuff, ABC order. I'm just going to read this to you. Dictionary says, using resources is one way to clarify information in a text. Sorry, I'm trying to get my pointer going here. There we go. You can use a dictionary or other reference books to look up new meanings for words you know. Signing, showing words and letters with your hands and fingers. It's a verb. Okay? So let's go ahead and read this story, A Special Camp. Follow along as I read to you. Okay? You can follow along in your book or you can follow along right on the screen. I do not care what you do. Okay, Camp Talowali. Now you can see Camp Talowali has it kind of in these parentheses here. It's how I'm supposed to say this word. It goes ta-lo-al-e. I'll start over. Camp Talowali in Oregon is a special place. The campers and counselors come from many backgrounds and cultures. Almost everyone at Talowali is deaf, which means they cannot hear. Next page. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We're now on page 81. If campers cannot hear, how do they know what someone is saying to them? One way is through sign language. Sign language is a way that people can talk to one another without speaking. Signing is a way to show words and letters with your hands and fingers. It is like a code. Some relatives of deaf children started Camp Talowali. They wanted the deaf people in their family to have a camp like hearing children have. At the end of each summer, the campers celebrate with a big party. They remember all the fun times they had together. Then they sign goodbye to their new friends. Now let's talk about this story a little bit. When I want to try to understand a story a little bit better, I want to think about it in its parts and try to come up with what the main idea was. So remember last week we talked about those parts. Those parts are called the details, right? Detail, detail, detail. And the main idea. Well, the main idea of this story is about a camp, a special camp, right? And it's a special camp for deaf people. And then some of my details would be that some relatives started the camp, that they celebrate at the end of the year with a big party, and that when they're there, they're using their sign language. Those are all details that come together to the main idea of a special camp for deaf people. Let's go ahead and get out our practice books. Okay, we are in our practice book on page 36. We're going to kind of go through this together. If you can read this page well and you understand what these words mean, you can go ahead and pause the video and try to do it on your own and then come back and see if you got your answers right or wrong. Or maybe just scroll to the end of the video to see if you got your answers right or wrong. But if you want a little help with the reading, you can go ahead and follow right along with Mr. Miller. Okay? Let's see. Use what you know. Let me get my little pointer out. Use what you know about the words in the sentences to choose the word that makes sense in the blank. Then write the word on the line. Again, the words are signing, that's like speaking with your hands, cultures, relatives, celebrate, and death. Okay? My blank, number one, my blank came over for a family dinner. Who would come over? I see the word family in here. What word would go with family? Signing, cultures, relative, celebrate, or death? Ooh. You guys think that it's cultures or relatives? If you said relatives, you are correct. Well, why won't it let me? I'm trying to erase this number one and it won't let me. Let me see if I can figure something out. Okay, well, I couldn't figure out how to erase this, so I'm just going to write it with my finger. That's fine. Okay, so my relatives came over for a family dinner. Relatives, right up here, relatives would go on to number one. Okay, if I move on before you're done, pause it, finish writing the word relatives, and then move on to number two. Number two, Lily wants to blank her birthday at the park. What do we do to a birthday? Do we signing, celebrate, cultures, or death? That's a pretty easy one, isn't it? We celebrate. Good. Go ahead and write that down. If you're not done, pause it, finish it, hit play. Number three, Lana can't hear. She goes to a school for blank children. Well, I can look right here. If I can't hear, that must mean this one has to be deaf. She goes to a school for deaf children. Number four, Aunt Tina travels all around the world to meet people from different blank. Well, I have signing and cultures left. Signing is talking with your hands. How can you meet people from talking with your hands? That doesn't make any sense. She meets people from different cultures, from different places around the world that all have something in common. So go ahead and write the word cultures on number four. Awesome. The last one we know is signing, but let's look at it and help us understand this word better. Randy's parents are talking with their hands. That's my keywords here. Talking with their hands. They are signing. They are signing. Awesome. Then down on the bottom, it says write the words from the box in alphabetical order. It says use the student book glossary to check the order. That's okay. We can just raise your hand when you're done with that, and I'll come around and check it. Okay? Remember to look at the alphabet strip in the back of the classroom. Awesome.